We're back once again, only on it's Last Call. Last Call, the alcohol, only on the Last Call Podcast.com. We got a lot to talk about. So we had a huge UFC 320. Big fights happened, big title fights, knockouts, submissions, upsets. I could get the guy who saw it and covered it. And as he said, some of these things he called, some things he was slightly off the mark, but either way, he's going to bring hard hitting analysis, and we need that on the show. I give you once again from Eurosport, UFC, MMA Oddsbreaker podcast, topologies all over the place here. I give you MMA Dutch Insider Extraordinaire. I give you Marcel Dorff. So, Marcel, let's start off here with the return of the king. That's right. Alex Pereira is the new UFC light heavyweight championship. Um, didn't I guess take too much time this time. It was 80 seconds. Went out there, just marched him down, beat him up. Not TKO. We were off. We all, both you and I were like, he might be slowing down a bit. This fight basically says, yeah, he's not slowing down.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted me to get in. Sorry. Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. Yeah, you look good, man. What can you say? That fight was done so quickly. He immediately went on the gas. He pressured Ankalaev. Completely different, like as the first fight, where Ankalaev was pressuring him. Yeah, and actually the first real good shot he landed, Ankalaev was stumbling, and he went for a takedown to pretty much to stay in the fight, but. Yeah, I mean, Pereira was all over him, man, with a lot of 12-6 elbows, really good elbows, and trying to finish Ankalaev. Lost war on his defense, but still, man, Ankalaev didn't change his position. He keeps standing there, or keep laying there. So I saw a lot of people saying that was an early stoppage. I think it was a good stoppage. I mean, Dean gave him the opportunity to get away there, and he didn't do that. So yeah, I have no problem with the stoppage at all. Good combo, good rematch from Pereira, man. What can I say? I mean, he completely overwhelmed Ankalaev, and he got the quick finish. So well done by him, man. All credits for Alex.
Is it just me, or does this remind you a lot of Shogun Machida too, where the first fight we were like, okay, what's going on with this? What happened? And then the second fight, the guy who lost decides, okay, screw this. I'm just going full on gas tank. I don't care about this guy. I'm going to just attack, attack, attack.
I mean, a little bit, but at the same time, I think Shogun Machida too. I mean, the first fight went to Machida, but I think a lot of people thought that Shogun won. But I think the first fight between Ankalaev and Pereira was more clear that Ankalaev won than it was a robbery or by anything. But yeah, if you look at the second fight here, it was just a completely one-sided fight. He completely overwhelmed Ankalaev, like Ankalaev didn't expect it, I think, for some reason. And yeah, Pereira went went full crazy on him, and he did well. I mean, you would almost say like this is the way you should try to get your title back. And you saw that Pereira had again problem with his toes. So maybe if the fight continues, that wouldn't have been good for Pereira. So he did what he had to do, and yeah, he got Ankalaev out. It's a big win, man. Nobody got Ankalaev out the way he did. I know Ankalaev lost to Paul Craig back in the day, but there was in a fight he was winning 14 minutes and 50 seconds. But this was super overwhelming and impressive. So yeah, I mean, well done by Pereira. Looking forward what he's going to do next.
So first, let's start off with the pose. At the end of a match where he's waiting to fight off, and Pereira basically, points with both hands to Ankalaev, like, yeah, this is the guy you thought was, gonna just ride me out of the division. This is the guy. Like, there was a bit of saltiness during this fight. How much do you enjoy that Pereira? We're seeing like more, like this was like there was bad blood, but it always makes for a good lead up. So how much should we look at this and go, this is a different side of Pereira we've never seen before?
I felt like the whole week the bad blood was kind of a bullshit built on a bullshit thing. I mean, there was bad blood for sure, but it was kind of built on a bullshit thing. I mean, Alex Pereira was annoyed by Magomed because of the tweets. We all know Magomed doesn't tweet himself. You know, the thing is, like, Magomed should stop let Ali or Ferdas tweet for him. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense. You know, Magomed is not a bully or whatever. You know, and it just doesn't look good. I think the way he lets people tweet for him. And I don't know why Alex gets so aggravated by these tweets. You know, it's not Magomed. Why you care? You know, but yeah, listen, man. I feel like both guys are high-level fighters. You know, and Alex just did great. You got to give the guy credit for what he did. You know, it's not easy, and it's not very common to win your title back like that. You know, so but the beef, yeah, I mean, a little bit. A little bit of a BS for me, to be really honest. But that's my opinion, dude.
Well, I know what your thing is, and that's who's next. So who is next? Is it Carlos Ulberg? Do we get Yuri Prochka versus Alex Pereira 3? Does Dana do what secretly he wants? Do we give a trilogy between Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya? There's options, and they're all going to be like big money options. So what's the most likely, and who should get it, and who will get it?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen next, man. I mean, listen, if you ask me who should get it, I would say Yuri, you know, but Yuri's not going to get it because he has 2 losses to Alex already, you know, 2 stoppage losses. So, and Yuri knew that. You saw Yuri's face. He was like, fuck, Ankalaev lost. Because if Ankalaev wins, he has more chance to get that fight, you know. But with Pereira winning, it's going to go Ulberg, you know. Although, if it's true what Yuri said, I don't know it's true because we haven't heard from Ulberg, but Yuri said Ulberg turned me down to fight Reyes in Perth. If that's true, then Ulberg shouldn't get the title fight, in my opinion. You know, then it should go to Yuri. But I think the UFC will go with Ulberg, you know. And Yuri probably fights Ankalaev next. That's what I think, you know. But yeah, I mean, listen, if you ask me, I want to see Yuri fight again, you know, because I think he looked really good. I really, or he looked really fun to watch. Not really good, actually, to be really honest, the first 2 rounds. But man, he pulled through, you know. But yeah, I think they go with Ulberg. Ulberg also got a quick finish in this last fight, so I think they go with Ulberg, man.
We got it. So where does Ankalaev go? Because he's not a fan-friendly fighter in the UFC's eyes. He got it because he won all these fights. It's like, all right, he is a number contender. But considering, you know, this was a definite, like, just, you know, ass whooping of a fight, and considering the UFC loves Pereira, they view him as a cash cow. How many fights is it going to take for Ankalaev to get another title shot, considering he got knocked out within 80 seconds?
Listen, man, that's very simple. Listen, the UFC are a bunch of bitches if they don't like you know? So they don't like Ankalaev, it's pretty obvious, you know? So Ankalaev needs at least probably 2 or 3 more wins, you know? It depends on what Pereira does. If Pereira goes to heavyweight, he probably needs 2 more wins, you know? If Pereira stays at light heavyweight, he needs probably 3, you know? They're going to match him up definitely with a Yuri, with a Roundtree, with these guys on the top, you know? Listen, they're probably going to do Ulberg against Ankalaev. They're going to do Yuri against Ulberg against Pereira. Sorry, Yuri against Ankalaev. They hope Yuri wins that fight, you know. But if Ankalaev wins, they probably let him fight. If Ulberg loses Ulberg, you know, and if he wins that fight, he maybe gets another title shot. But I think Pereira will be at heavyweight at that moment already, you know. So, and it depends, you know. Imagine Pereira says, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to heavyweight right now. You know, I want to go to heavyweight. Then they will probably do Ulberg against Yuri for the title next, and then Ankalaev probably needs to win against a Roundtree, and then a second fight to secure a title shot again. But he's not going to get it easy, you know. He's not Sean O'Malley who gets title shots free with a coffee in the morning, you know. But I mean, he knew that. You know, he knew that he needed to win twice against Ankalaev to remain the champion, or against Pereira to make. I'm fucking up the names. He needed to win 2 times against Pereira to remain the champion. He only won 1 time, you know, and he completely pretty much got destroyed yesterday, you know. So yeah, I don't think it's fair that he probably needs to fight two or 3 more, but you know it's going to happen, you know. So he has to make sure to win. He has to make sure to win, man, those fights to get back on track, you know.
Alex has thrown out that he wants at the UFC White House.
Yeah.
Your guy, John Jones. How is it realistic? I mean, considering that Pereira wants it, considering John Jones wants it, considering it's at the White House, can you see that happening? And if it is, can we finally broker the peace deal between Marcel Dorff and John Jones? I know you want to, you want to bring him back in. He's your goat. If he comes back, I will set it up. We can do a sit-down meeting. Jones, Marcel, it's just like the Paris Peace Accords. We can get this together. We can get you both back on Kumbaya.
Bro, the funny thing is, and I've told you this before, I have a poster in my house
I
with John
know.
Jones on it, because I think John Jones is amazing. What he has done, I don't need to see him back. That's the thing. By the way, rest in peace to his brother, man, who passed away earlier this week. Horrible, man, Arthur Jones, also like an athlete, horrible, early, passed away way too early, so I want to give my condolences. But for me, Jones is just like, how do you say that? It's in the past, in my opinion, And I know you love the guy, and you want to see him back, and a lot of people want to see him back.
I don't. I feel bad because he's your guy. So I can hear like you don't like him, but he's pissed you off. So I want to make it happen, Marcel. I like you. You are my friend. I want to get this kumbaya between you and your goat.
Brother, I found peace, So I'm cool with it, whatever happens. I'm honest guy, I mean, I think the guys who are fighting right now, who are putting their lives on the line in the octagon, they deserve to fucking fight on these kind of cards, That's my opinion. And Jones, yeah, I mean, I really don't need to see him. I need to see him back, man, in the UFC. I really don't. The thing is, like, look how long he hold up the division last time. Do we want to see that again? That he holds it up again? I mean, I don't. It's like same with Conor. I don't care anymore. I want to see the newer generation do well, and the guys who are fighting now. I mean, listen, if Alex Pereira asks, like, I want to be on that card, I don't think he really cares, to be really honest, but it's a big card. So if he wants to be on that card, let him be on that card, whoever he fights, Yeah, that's how I see it, man. I mean, I know for the casual fan, it would be great to have Conor or Jones on the card. So the UFC probably going to try to get them on the card, either one of them, but we'll see, man. But for me, it doesn't make any difference, in my opinion. I'm really easy if it comes to that.
Well, let's talk about the fight.
Yeah, let's go.
Jiri-Roundtree, Yuri Prochka. You said, and I remember you're like, this might be an action fight because Yuri's not going to fight smart.
Yeah,
and you were right. Jiri-Roundtree for 2 rounds was beating Yuri like a Cherokee drum. I mean, it was just tagging him with right hands, leg kicks to the body. I had it 2018. Jiri-Roundtree was controlling it, and then Yuri just with miles and miles of heart, just like Robbie the Robot kept pressuring. Knockout with basically 2 minutes left in the round. Is this one of the best action-packed fights in the last 5-10 years we've seen? I mean, is this one of those fights you look and go, this is worth the price of admission?
I mean, bro, it was fucking amazing. What can you say? I mean, listen, Khalil fought really technical in the first 2 rounds, was very quick with his punches, and you saw that Yuri had trouble with it. Yuri was really frustrated because he barely could hit Khalil, And listen, we all know Yuri. If Yuri doesn't get his way, he goes full blast, And he pressured Khalil like a crazy man in the 3rd round, kept going, tried to take his fucking head off, And at a certain moment, you saw Khalil gassing badly. And yeah, I mean, and he clipped him. It was over. Man, what a fucking fight, What a fucking end by Yuri. Amazing, really amazing. I really enjoyed that a lot. And yeah, I found some new respect for Khalil. I was not the biggest fan of his, to be really honest, but man, he fought really good. And if the fight goes to decision, he wins the fight because he won the first 2 rounds. He looked really good. I got to give him credit for it. Yeah, what a fight, man. I mean, definitely definitely the third round. That was crazy. That was really crazy.
So where does Yuri Prochka go from here? Because the UFC does love him. He, no matter what, there's never boring Yuri Prochka fights. So if he doesn't get the winner of Pereira versus Pereira Ankalaev, he doesn't get next for Pereira. What do they do to basically reward him without giving him a stinker?
I mean, it's pretty easy what they're going to do with him next, I think. I think they give him Ankalaev, probably. That's what I think. That's a fight they can't make. That's a fight that hasn't happened. Listen, I think he should fight for the title. The problem is we have like fucking what's his name? Alberg. And Alberg hasn't fought for the title yet, and he hasn't fought Ankalaev yet. So that's probably what the UFC is gonna do, yeah, listen, man, I would fucking love to see this guy fight for a title again, but I don't think it's happening. I think he fights Ankalaev next. That's what I think, and I'd be good with that, man. Yuri is a fun fighter. You can put Yuri against pretty much everyone, and it will be a fun fight. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
I was thinking instead of Ankalaev, how about Yuri versus Jan Blachowicz? Just two guys who've never met a fight. They didn't want to go forward and knock somebody's head off. Winner gets Pereira next. I mean, that match sells. That is action-packed violence that every fan, hardcore and casual, would love.
I'm good with that, but Jan is already fighting Guskov soon, so I don't think they're gonna make that fight.
Now we can move Guskov off to Ankalaev. There we go. We're trading people. See,
Fight is fine, man.
Meanwhile, just like the Grinch during Christmas, where his heart grew 3 sizes, you're finally coming around. I knew you had it in you. For years, you were like, Jiri-Roundtree sucks. It's terrible. And you and a lot of the people now have to look at this and go, we were wrong about Jiri-Roundtree. It's actually pretty good.
Listen, brother, I still think he sucks on the ground, but his striking is really good. I gotta get his striking is like top notch. Kickboxing is great to watch his Muay Thai. He's really good. He's quick. He's sharp. I gotta give him that. I still think against a random grappler, he fails probably. But I gotta give it. His striking look really good. And if Yuri is not that crazy, I find that switch in the third round. He's maybe next for the title. You know what I mean? So I gotta give him credit there, but I still don't think he's like a complete mixed martial artist, but his striking is great, 100%.
Again, you're coming around. It's, dare I say, maybe the blood feud is over. But whatever he did, whether it was peeing on your dog, saying that you look like Greta Thunberg, saying that Dutch chocolates suck, you're coming around like, okay. And I'm proud of you, Marcel. It shows you're a bigger man. That you were actually going, hey, you know what? Jiri-Roundtree is actually a good fighter.
Yeah, I mean, he looked. What can I say, man? We all saw the fight. He looked good in that fight. Unfortunately for him, he got knocked out in the third round. But the first 2 rounds, he won those first 2 rounds. I had him up 20-18. So cannot say anything bad about that, right?
Well, one thing we can't say anything bad about is this guy, the current bantamweight champion, Merab. Well, Dana White could probably say something bad because he'd go, oh my God, this guy is just boring as paint drawing on a wall. But another dominant performance against Corey Sandhagen. Let's ask the big question right now.
Yeah.
Is he the greatest bantamweight champion of all time now?
I think I got to give it to him. Yes, for a long time I said it was Dominic Cruz, but I feel like Merab has surpassed him, so I got to give it to him. Yes, yeah.
How does he make it look so simple? I mean, Corey Sandhagen is not a schlub. Corey Sandhagen has beaten a lot of good fighters. He has excellent wrestling defense. This guy can strike, and yet we saw in this fight, it's like Merab keeps the pressure on. He'll eventually get with takedowns, and even in round 5, he still looks fresh as a daisy. How the hell does he do it?
the thing with Merab is just a crazy guy who is just fucking good, you know. And besides that, he gets better every fucking time he gets in the octagon. You know, it's crazy. He just literally gets better every time he fights in the octagon. And that's rare. You don't see that often. You see champions doing well, but you don't see them being better every time they step into the octagon. You know, some champions are just holding on. So I think it's really special, man, how he fights and how he can do it, you know. And he does it against literally everybody. And he almost got Corey out in the second round, you know, with the striking. And Corey is known for his elite striking. So this guy is just like really fucking good, you know. And yeah, I was listening. I saw a lot of people saying it was boring. I think he looked great. You know, typical Merab fight again. You know, go for broke, fighting hard, pressuring. Man, how many takedowns he got? 17 or 18. Dude is crazy, man. He got crazy cardio. You know, I really like Merab. You know, I never had something against him. I think he's really good, and yeah, I'm looking forward what's next for him. Man, he's an interesting guy. You know, he just looked really good, man. I mean, people got to give him credit for it. You know.
Who is next for him? I mean, because you're trying to figure this out. So he's beaten now Sean O'Malley twice. He's beaten Umar Nurmagomedov. He's beaten Corey Sandhagen, Henry Cejudo, Peter Yan, Cody Stamen, Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes. I mean, now you're getting to the point where it's like, all right, who do we put him in with? Devison Figueroa and Marlon Vera coming off losses. Song Yadong is going to be taking on Henry Cejudo, but if he loses, well, that's out. I mean, who gets it? Is it? I mean, and if even if Umar beats Mario Batista, well, do people want to see a rematch of that? I mean, who the hell do you put him up against right now in terms of like, well, this guy could actually threaten him?
Yeah, I think they're gonna do Umar probably, man. I would prefer Piotr Jan, to be honest, but yeah, I think they're gonna do Umar because Dana was already talking about Umar last time before they make the Corey fight, you know. So I see that happening. Personally, like I said, I would love to see. I would love to see Piotr Jan get another title shot, but I don't know what the UFC is gonna do, man. I mean, it seems like Merab is defeating pretty much everybody. And the thing is, like, Umar was his most difficult fight, I feel like, you know. So, but Umar first has to get past Batista, you know. I don't think that's easy. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Meanwhile, with regarding Corey,
Yeah.
is he basically the Dustin Poirier of the bantamweight division, where he beats everybody, he can't get to that title, whether it's Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw, Peter Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, and now Merab Dvalishvili. Like he'll beat up everybody else. He's knocked out Frankie Edgar. He's beaten Mario Batista. Just every time he gets to either title eliminator or title shot, it's just something happens, and it's just he can't get over that hump.
Yeah, I mean, he's good, but the thing is, like, he's finding also elite guys, and these elite guys are also really good. So, I mean, sometimes people are better than you. You know, you had so many guys who fought in the UFC and they couldn't win against these guys, you know, and they couldn't win against the top guy, and they were always be number two. Look at Joseph Benavidez for years, you know. I mean, I think he was amazing, but he had DJ in front of him, you know. So yeah, that's painful, but at the same time, it's like it happens, you know. It just sucks that one guy is just a little bit better than you, and you're probably not going to fight for a title or gonna get a title, and maybe fight again for a title, but we're not going to get it. It is what it is, man. You know. Yeah. What can I say?
Where does he go from here? Because now it's like, okay, I mean, he's one of those guys where it's like he's sort of in no man's land. He's not a gatekeeper because he can still beat the top five, top 10 guys. It's just that top one or two of those elite guys he just does not match up well with.
I mean, yeah, I mean he can still fight a lot of guys at bantamweight, you know, but it will take some time to get to a title again, you know. I don't know who he can fight. I think you can match him up with a lot of guys, man. But I mean, Who would you want to see Corey fight next, man? Give me what you want.
I mean, it made probably a Song Yadong. That's a guy who, all right, Song needs a big win over somebody to get him into the next, title picture. If he beats Corey, that is the kind of guy. It's just, again, I feel comfortable Corey beats Song. So if you're UFC, like, how tough is it where it's like, crap, trying to get new challengers and they're trying to get new contenders, and we don't want to have, and if every time Corey beats him, that takes him off the board. Now we're stuck with Merab versus, I guess he takes on the winner of the flyweight division, which is right now Alexander Pantoja versus Joshua Van in the title versus title fight.
Yeah, I'm good with that, man. I'm good with that, with him fighting Song Yadong. I mean, or what about Corey versus Sean O'Malley? Is that not an obvious fight to make, maybe? That's a fight I would love to see. I think that's a fun fight for the fans. I think that would be a great fight as well. So I think there are still options, for Corey. But yeah, a title shot will not be soon in this way again, But yeah, I think there are still a lot of options,
man. Well, let's talk about another big fight, which this guy came and shook the world in a sense. Joe Pfeiffer defeating Abus Magomedov. The betting money was on Magomedov, but this is a guy who was finally turning the corner. He was big, big guy who won 3 straight fights against Marcel Pereira, Bruno Ferreira, Marley Alves, and the man affectionately known as, can't believe I'm saying this, Body Bags, chokes out Magomedov. So is Joe Pfeiffer now a guy you look at 185 and go, all right, he deserves, he's in that mix for a title eliminator.
I mean, Joe's pretty good, man. The thing is, like, Joe, listen, man, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but Joe always kind of sounds to me like he's on his period 24/7 for some reason, And I don't know why. I like the guy. I think he's a good fighter, but it always feels like he's mad for some reason, and I don't know why. And I thought that was, I was surprised what he was doing, man. I was like, dude, why are you going to grapple with fucking Abus Magomedov? Your striking is much better than his, in my opinion. And it showed in the second round when he touches him, and he kind of knocked him down, and then he was able to beat him. So I was like, why didn't you do that in the first round? But yeah, I mean, he looked good in the second round. He looked really good. And I still think there's a lot of how do you say that? A lot of development for Joe Pfeiffer, man. I think Joe's pretty good. He had a setback with the Hermanson fight. A lot of people said like, "Oh, dude is a fraud," which I already thought was bullshit, because he's, like I said, yeah. I've been always like, when I saw Joe Pfeiffer, like, he can do pretty well in the division, Well, man, I mean, I think they should give him somebody in the top 15 next, because Abus was just out of the top 15 because they updated and then he went out of the top 15. I think Joe deserves somebody in the top 15. Give him the top 15 guy next. And yeah, let's see what happens.
So I'm going to throw a name out there that's top 15 that this guy doesn't have a fight right now, and this probably works for both parties.
Yeah.
Roman Dolidze doesn't have a fight yet, coming off a loss to Anthony Hernandez. He needs a win. Let's make this fight. This is a fun fight. It's not too much of a huge jump. This guy's not coming off a win or doesn't have a fight scheduled. Let's make it where it's we can see if Joe is evolving, or is this the ceiling?
Yeah, I'm good with it, man. Let's do it. The fight makes sense, I think. And that's a good fight. Dolidze fought his last fight against what's his name again?
Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah, Anthony Hernandez. He completely got dominated and got finished in the last round. So yeah, I'm all good, man. If they do that, that's a good fight. I think that's a fight people would love to see. So yeah, let's do that fight. And let's see if Pfeiffer can beat Dolidze. I think that's a great call by you, man. Yeah.
Meanwhile, where does for Abus Magomedov? Where does he go? Because he's one of those guys where he's 4-3 in the UFC. You know, it's not any bad losses, but you know, it's like okay, you lost Sean Strickland, lost Kyle Barral, you lost Joe Pfeiffer. He is a guy who's in that 20 to 40 range. So, is there any way you see him getting better, or is this one of those? Is this sort of like confirmation of he is what he is?
Who did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't call it.
So he's lost to Sean Strickland, Kyle Barallo, and Joe
Yeah,
Pfeiffer.
yeah.
He's 4-3 of the UFC. I mean, is this what Abus Magomedov is? Just he's a solid fighter who's not top 15 level.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's definitely what I think. I think he's like I said, he's a decent fighter, but I never saw like a championship whatever material in him. I mean, um, he's becoming better. You know, I definitely he went better in this last couple of fights, but I never saw him like in the next big thing in a title or whatever. You know, so nah, that's in all honesty, that's what I thought that what he would be. You know, he would be good, but not anywhere close to a title or whatever. And I think it showed yesterday again that he's decent. You know, you saw in the first round, but yeah, I also don't see him fighting for a title or whatever. So that's I think that's a ceiling like around top 15. Yeah.
Meanwhile, ceiling is sky high for this young man here. Yusuf Zalal, the Moroccan Devil. This time, first round submission victory
Mm-hmm.
over Josh Emmett. Wow, what was transpired with this guy? I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, he got bounced out of the UFC. You know, losing 3 straight to Poirier, Sue Woo Choi, Sean Woodson, and a draw with them on Blackshear. He's now, you know, went out, discovered himself, and it's 5 straight victories, including wins over Billy Quarantillo, Jack Shore, Calvin Kattar, now Josh Emmett. What the hell got into the Moroccan Devil? Where was this guy?
He's a fun fighter, man. I really like the guy. You know, the thing is, a lot of people were talking down on him because of that last fight where he really fought safe in the third round. But he had to fight like that, you know, because like Calvin Kattar was on the was walking forward and was trying to take his head off. So he kind of fought safe in the third round. But people forget how he looked like early in the fight. You know, he looked really good. So. Yeah, listen, I like the guy a lot. Like I said, I think he's very talented, and I'm happy it finally looks to come out. You know, and man, not a lot of people can say that they beat Josh Emmett and that they finished Josh Emmett. So I think it's a big way to win. It really looked really good. So yeah, all credits to Zalal, and I'm looking forward what's next to him. I think he called out Murphy. I don't think he's going to get that one, but he will definitely get a better or even a higher opponent, you know. So yeah, good for him, man. Good for him.
Here are 2 options I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Option one, you give him a wrestler, and a guy named Aljamain Sterling who will challenge him on the ground. Can he handle the pressure? Can he handle a guy who's going to just bring relentless pressure and let's see what happens? Or option two, you give him a striker named Yair Rodriguez who can probably take his head off, is a little more active, a little more, I would say, feistier than Calvin Kattar. I mean, which of those two do you think is more realistic for Youssef and for the UFC?
I think both fights can make sense. You know, listen, if you ask me what I like, what I prefer, there's a fight with Yair. I think that's much more fun to watch, probably. But hey, if you want to test his ground game, you know, you give him Aljo. I would be cool with that as well because I think, like I always say, and you know that I think everybody has to be like, how do you say that? You cannot be one dimensional, you know, and you know that that Yusuf is pretty decent on the ground. You know, Aljo is really good on the ground. And Yusuf striking is really fun to watch, and Aljo striking is decent. So I think that would be a fun fight. So if you ask me, Yair would be a more fun fight probably, but maybe the bigger test might be Sterling. So yeah,
Meanwhile, Josh Emmett,
yeah,
He's one of my favorite fighters. He is a guy who you look and it's built for tough. That is Josh Emmett. He has overcome injuries. He's overcome health issues. He's overcome tough fights. He has done everything. And he's now lost 4 out of his last 5. His only win against Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
And he's 40 years old. Look, on one hand, he's only lost to the best: Yair Rodriguez, Ilya Topuria, Lerone Murphy, Yusuf Zalal. This isn't like he's losing to chopped liver. So on that, I look and go, yeah, all right. Hey, he can still go. How much longer does he go? And if you're a UFC, what do you do when it's like you have a guy who's lost 4 of his last 5, and he's 40 years old, but he's still a guy who can beat probably top 10, 15 guys.
Yeah, they're probably going to match him up with people they want to see if they can get to the top of the division. That's what I think. I mean, let's be honest, Josh Emmett, I like the guy a lot, but he's not going to fight for a title anymore, probably. So they're going to try to give him fights that the other guys can build up, that they can build a name of him. But. Yeah, it will be interesting if they can make how the other guys can do against Josh Emmett, because we know Josh Emmett is super tough, has a great knockout power, knows how to fight on the ground normally. So I'm interested by it, but I don't know, man. I mean, we'll have to see, my friend. We'll have to see. But I think
I'm going to throw a fight out there.
Yeah,
I know
go
you
ahead.
personally would love Josh Emmett, Patricio Pitbull. 2 old gunslingers who they still want to take your head off. There won't probably be much grappling. It's just 2 guys who are going to chin check people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not? They can do that. I think that's possible. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we go to the rest of the card. And there were some highlights, some lowlights. There was some matches where we're going, what the hell happened? And then there were matches where we're looking at going, yeah. All right, this guy's ready. So let's start off with the big one here, the main event of the preliminary card, in my opinion. Edmund Shabazian knocking out Andre Muniz with 2 seconds left in the first round. We talked about it. He's gotten right ever since he moved back to Extreme Couture and Black Cobra striking systems. He's worked on some things here. Is this a resurgence? Is the Golden Boy back in the middleweight division title picture?
Not in the title picture, but he's definitely back in the top 15 view. 3 wins in a row, good win, look good against Muniz. I hope he can set the next step now. I think he's very talented, but we've seen before that his cardio isn't the best normally, and he still has to work on his ground game. But he's a fun fighter, I hope his cardio is getting better. I'm a big fan, to be honest, of Edmund. I've always been. I think he's a good dude, and he's also a good fighter. So I like to see him do well, but won't be easy. You know what I mean? I think he has potential. He's still young. A lot of people forget he's not even in his 30s. So still a lot of room for development. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Let's hope he does well in this next fight as well. Yeah, maybe he needs another guy outside the top 15 to beat, and if not, he gets somebody in the top 15. Let's see how he does.
Meanwhile, Patchy Mix loses a split decision to Jakob Wiklotz.
Yeah.
What the hell happened? I mean, this is not the Patchy Mix I remember. So, again, you wonder, like, what's going on here? What is this? Is this sort of like the end for Patchy Mix? Like, what is going on that we're looking going? A guy who was dominant Bellator lost to a guy who, is good, but he should be able to beat.
First of all, I think Patchy got screwed on the scorecards because I had him 2-3 winning. At this, on the other hand, he shouldn't be have this much trouble against a guy making his debut. Although weight class is pretty decent, but at the same time, Patchy is seen by a lot of guys, a lot of people, as one of the better bantamweights, and he hasn't showed it at all in his last 2 fights in the UFC. It's also not the Patchy I remember from Bellator, obviously, where he was like beating almost everybody he fought. So yeah, what can you listen? I think the UFC definitely gets in the third fight, but he definitely needs to win, my friend. He definitely needs to win because, man, I mean, he cannot afford to lose again.
Like
Yeah, we'll
when
see.
you were watching that, you almost because I was watching that fight. It's like this is not the Apache who I remember. Like he
Same.
usually mixes his striking and wrestling. He's very aggressive. He will force you to react. Like, and this was just somebody who I'm like, okay, it's almost like he's taking his foot off the gas pedal a little bit. He's almost too content for his own good. Like, but is this mental or is this something that that maybe there's an injury we don't know about?
I have no idea, man. I really have no idea. I mean, it just sucks to see somebody who you have really high hopes of look like that. He just doesn't look like the Apache we all know, the dominant guy who we fought. I don't know what's up with him. I mean, yeah. Let's hope. Let's hope it all become better. But I don't know. I mean, if you cannot be dominant against these guys he fought, and definitely against weak lads, yeah, I don't know what to think.
Well, one guy who was dominant, if a silent assassin, Atiba Gautier. On one hand, it was great that he knocks out Tristan Vines, and I get it. Tristan Vines was a last-minute replacement. On the other hand, man, if this was ever a cupcake fight, this was a cupcake fight. Tristan Vines is a guy you almost could argue doesn't belong in the UFC, especially the main event, the final fight of the prelims. How much of this do you look and just go, okay, the UFC wanted a knockout, they wanted a sacrificial lamb for Gautier, and hey, let's have this guy make his debut on the UFC, and let's put him in there against a killer who we know is going to just destroy him like a wolf destroys a chihuahua.
I mean, they needed somebody to fight Gauthier. They didn't want to put him off the card, so they looked around, and this guy took the fight. You got to see it like this, man. If he takes the fight, he gets a contract, and he gets a couple of more fights. It's almost like, listen, of course, you always think you're going to win the fight if you sign for the fight, but you also know if you don't win this fight, you get a second chance. As long as you make weight. If you don't make weight and you lose your debut, they say fuck off. You're gone. But he probably gets a second chance. So is it worth the risk? Probably. And yeah, but I mean, we knew that Gauthier was gonna win quickly, probably. We need to see Atiba Gauthier against better opposition. I feel like even this was his second UFC fight. We need to see him against better guys, or was it his third? I don't. It was his third, I think. Yeah, we just need to see him against better guys, I think. But yeah, I mean, nobody's going to step up on 5 or 4 days' notice against this guy who was either ranked or being close to a top 15 or whatever. So the UFC had to do what they had to do. We put somebody in from the regional scene to fight him. And yeah, it didn't went well for the guy, but at least he tried. And he's in the UFC now. Let's hope he gets a better matchup for him next time.
We had two more fights get either not make weight or they changed the weight to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Daniel Santos defeated Yu Jun Song, which it was supposed to be a featherweight fight. Now we're moving up to 153 so that all parties can be happy. And Yana Santos defeated Macy Chassian, despite Macy coming in 137.5 pounds, 1.5 over the bantamweight limit. Again, I'm calling for Marcel. If you can't make weight, you're forfeiting the goddamn fight. I'm sick of this. This is the one of a few things. It's not like, like, oh, yeah, but I just woke up and I now have to make this weight within like a day or 2 days. Most of these fighters, they know for a while, like, we're going to be fighting. You need to make weight. They do it in the Olympics. They do it in the World Championships. You got to make weight every day for the 3 straight days. If not, you forfeit. So I'm calling the UFC. If they can't make weight, they forfeit the fight. Just move a fight up. God damn it.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at the Santos against Yo fight, Yo could have made 145. You know, it is Santos who requested the 153 catch weight or 155. So he requested it on early in the morning. So Yo was like, "Yeah, I still want to fight." So he accepted the fight. For some reason, the UFC didn't broad it like that. They just said it's a catch weight, but it came from Santos. Santos requested the 153 catch weight. So they did, and yeah, Santos won. That's also probably why he didn't get a bonus. Still a good win. I don't know what you was doing there, but good win for Santos. Got to give him credit for. And with Santos against Chasson, yeah, Chasson didn't look good at all, man. She came back in the third round. She acted like she won, but she clearly lost the first 2 rounds. So I was like, why are you even doing that? You know. And I wouldn't be surprised if UFC cuts her, as crazy as it sounds, you know, because it's not the first time she doesn't make weight. So yeah, and she lost. Listen, the difference is Santos won. I mean, Daniel Santos. I mean, he won, but Chasson lost. You know, I missed weight, so and she wasn't really humble even about it. I felt like, man, she kind of looked like, yeah, I missed weight. Yeah, so what? You know, I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. It's bad, you know, and they should do something about it. And not just 20%. They should do more about it. But for some reason they don't. I don't know. It's just annoying. It's just annoying.
The early preliminary card, Punahili Saryan defeated Nikolai Baranikov by unanimous decision. We had Farid Bashrat defeated Chris Gutierrez by unanimous decision. Ramirez Ramaj came back after a tough first round, submitted Austin Vanderfort the guillotine choke, and Veronica Hardy defeated Brogdon Walker by unanimous decision. Who stood out of all the people on the preliminary card where you looked and went, okay, this guy's the real deal. This guy's ready for the next, big step up.
Bro, Rami's my guy, dude. Rami's great. I love his fights. Such a nice guy as well. You know, I was so happy to see him do well. He's probably one of the nicest guys in the UFC. You know, so to see him do well, really fun to watch for me. Uh, and listen, he had a tough cookie in Austin Vanderford. Who was probably going to try to wrestle with him, take him down. He was almost holding him a lot, but still, man, you know how Austin fights. Got to respect it. And yeah, he was fucking able to get out of it and to secure the choke. Amazing win by him, man. Super happy to see him do well. That was for me like the highlight of the prelims, probably his finish over Austin Vanderford. And yeah, overall, I mean, I expected Basharat to out wrestle Chris Gutierrez pretty much, so that wasn't a really surprise to me. What else did we have? Veronica Hardy, I expected her also to win against Brogan Walker. Wasn't also a big surprise to me. You know, who else did we have? Puna Soriano against Veretanikov. Didn't thought it was a great fight, but Puna clearly won in my opinion. So good win for him. And I think we had all fights. We have all fights covered, I think. Or did I forget someone? No, I think it's good.
So I'm going to show some love to PFL. And on one hand, we had some excellent fights. On the other hand, though, there's some controversies. Let's start with the inaugural PFL lightweight championship of the world. Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
Usman wins with unanimous decision. 2 nut shots, 2 low blows, and they don't call anything. At this point, I'm just ready to tell every fighter, look, if you get in trouble, just deliver a ball shot.
Yeah, sure.
Punch, kick. Referees aren't taking any penalties away. Just, you just do WB style where you take the forearm, you go right between the wickets, and that'll stop your opponent. They'll give you a little bit of a tongue lashing. They'll admonish you, but no, referees, they aren't going to do anything. They're going to just not do a goddamn thing. What are we at here, Marcel? I mean, if you hit a guy of a nuts, what's to stop, for you from doing everything else? Since referees don't want to seem to call it.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't want to call it, man, for some reason. I mean, I hate that shit. That the referees are really inconsistent with that kind of stuff. They should call it, and they don't for some reason. They always give a leeway with it, which is stupid. Yeah, what can you do about it? I don't know.
I mean, if you're PFL and you're UFC, at what point do you just go, look, certain referees, we're not letting you just referee these fights. If we hear you, if we see you on the docket, we will pull the event. Screw this. I don't care if a commission says he's good. You need to lay down the law. We will fire you people. Referees need to be fired, drawn, quartered, taken out back and beaten with a rubber hose, something, because goddamn, Marcel, they're just literally like, oh yeah, let's do a nut shot. Oh yeah, don't worry, we're just gonna, I guess, not to call anything. Something's gonna be called. God damn it. Oh, they're accidental. No bullshit. I think Nurmagomedov went, oh yeah, well, I can get away with it here.
I mean, bro, I agree with you, but we'll see if they're going to do anything about it. I don't know, but I agree with you. I mean, it's super annoying to
You need to
watch.
get on this, Marcel. You have people. You have people in the Dutch government. You have people in the MMA community. You can just I don't know, throw it out there. Demand like a hearing. Do something. You have power. You are the MMA insider / guru of Dutch Holland. So, God damn it, use your weight here.
Bro, I'm a fucking nobody, man. But but yeah, listen, I like to see more harder punishment as well, or at least maybe not harder, but more. How do you say that? More clear punishment from the referee. That they be clear, like this. This shouldn't happen. We take a point. This shouldn't happen. We take 2 points. We just don't see it for some reason. Well, what can you do? I don't know. It's not. It's not. It's not in my power. But it fucking annoys me as well.
Well, the rest of the card had some pretty good fights. Corey Anderson defeated Dolzan Yagashimaruda by unanimous decision. Completely, once again, shows why he is probably one of the best light heavyweights that's not named Alex Pereira. Unfortunately, PFL's UFC bullcrap, so we will never get this fight happening. Friend of the show, Archie Colgan, defeated Jay Wilson, unanimous decision. You can bet that he is wanting a shot against Usman Nurmagomedov, so I'm definitely excited to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the knockout. Spinning back elbow. Sergio Pettis defeated Magomedov. Again, this is one of the best bantamweights in the world, not named Merab. In a perfect world, God damn it, we get co-promotion. We get PFL UFC. We get Merab Dashvili versus one of the famous families in MMA, the Pettis brothers. God, this pisses me off, Marcel. I blame you for this. You have power. You need to call your peeps and say, hey, look, get them together, get Dana in a room with friggin' Peter Murray, make this goddamn co-promotion happen. If they're doing it in boxing here, we can do it in MMA.
Yeah, but we're not gonna see it, man. We can talk about it. We can hope it happens. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen, and it fucking sucks. But yeah, I listen. I would love to see a champion versus champion card as well, man. That would be so fun. Or just like the best fighters against the best fighters. It would be so fun to watch. But we gotta be clear on that. It's just not gonna happen. The UFC has way too much to lose to do that, and that's why Dana doesn't want to do it. If we remember when he did it back in the Pride days, because Pride was bigger than the UFC back then. That's why he did it. But he's not gonna do it. Hell no. But do I want to see it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
How good is Sergio Pettis? And for us who've seen him here, is it time to start realizing that he really has come into his own? I mean, we saw him in the UFC, and when he first debuted, he was really young. I mean, we keep forgetting he was like 18, 19 years old. It takes time. Like even Joshua Van, we're amazed because he's 20, but This is now a guy who's 25-7. He's beaten Rafion Stotts, Magomed Magomedov, Patricio Pitbull,
Yeah.
Corey Horiguchi, Juan Archuleta. Is it safe to say we know Sergio Pettis is a guy that has lived up to his potential?
I mean, he became better for sure. It's so hard to say because I think Sergio Pettis is pretty good, but I still don't know if he if he can match some of these guys in the UFC right now. You know, he's definitely a fun fighter. You know, I give him that. But man, what do you think, man? Give me your opinion on this.
I mean, I look and it's like you can argue that he can hang with the Corey Sandhagens, Peter Jans, the Henry Cejudos. I mean, he has the striking, he has the wrestling. All of a sudden, you look and he's been in the UFC, so it's not like he's one of these guys who would go in there and get intimidated with the bright lights. I get it, PFL pays a lot, and every fighter needs to get that bag. But if there was real true free agency, and UFC was going to offer, competitive offers to get Sergio, he's one of those guys. I think you look and go, he's a top 5 guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not as convinced as you are. I think, but maybe. Listen, I'd still love to see him fight some of these guys in the UFC. It would maybe be a good fight, But I'm just not convinced. But maybe. Listen, man, I cannot say 100% yes because I'm not convinced, but I'd love to see it.
Final topic of the show. It is UFC Fight Night this Saturday. Olivera versus Gamrot. I'll give UFC credit for what this fight card was about to be ready to go into the drizzling craps. It was supposed to be Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. That fight fell through. They were scrambling. Probably a lot of people went, we don't want to do this fight on short notice. So is this for what is realistic and everything and what was possibly out there and realistically out there? Is this one of the best fights they could have made?
You got to ask the question again because you fell away from me for a second there.
No problem. Charles Oliveira versus Mateus Gamrot. Is this one
Yeah.
of the best fights they could have made that was realistic?
I think it is. Yeah. You know what funny is? Like, Gamrot was booked, Gamrot was booked for another fight. So they had to take him off that fight to make this fight. And that was probably the best fight. They asked somebody else to fight Olivera, and he turned Olivera down. So they had to go to another one, and they went to Gamrot because they needed somebody to fight Olivera. Olivera had to be on this card. He was the headliner, he was the ticket seller, so he needed to be on this card. And Gamrot wanted to fight, although he already signed to fight somebody else, but he wanted to fight, and the UFC, took that. So I think that's a great fight. It's a tough fight for Olivera, dude. Because we know Gamrot is going to try to keep pressuring him. It's an interesting fight, but it's most likely the best fight they could have made. I think. Yeah, I think that's true.
Can Gamrot beat Oliveira? I mean, does he have a style and the skill to beat him, or is this a bad matchup for him? Because unless you can knock out Oliveira, he will eventually either wear you down and get a submission or catch you in something.
I think Gamrot definitely can beat Olivera. I think it's a tough matchup for him. Listen, a lot of people will say Olivera most likely does well with his BJJ. Probably, yeah, but Mateus Gamrot is really good on the ground as well. Don't underestimate the dude, And he's a fucking strong guy as well, And also, I mean, Gamrot never lost by stoppage. He only has losses by decision. He lost 3 times by decision, and 2 of those 3 decisions I disagree with. I only agree with the Benil Dariush loss he has. So he's like that super underrated guy. Not a lot of people want to fight. And the UFC doesn't really like him because it's not really as a friendly style in a lot of fights. But this is a tough fight, dude, for Olivera. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gamrot wins and he maybe even finishes Olivera. So, yeah, it's a really interesting fight, I think. We're going to learn a lot of Gamrot and also a lot from Olivera, where he is still. But this is going to be a tough fight, man, even in front of his home crowd.
How big of a risk is this for Olivera? Because all of a sudden you're looking, it's like, okay, since 2022, when he lost his title on the scale, it has been win one, lose one, win, or lose, win, lose, win, lose. And look, once again, you could, Islam Makhachev, one of the best, maybe possibly of all time, pound for pound. Ilia Topuria, legitimate badass who might be the future of the UFC in terms of their star power. Arman Tsarukyan was a split decision over 3 rounds, and there's a lot of people who thought that Oliveira probably won that fight or would win that fight if it went 5. And in between, he's beaten Beneil Dariush and Michael Chandler. But if he loses this fight, is his title days over in terms of fighting for a title? Because all of a sudden you go, well, you are what you are, and this division's not getting any older.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. That's a good question, but I think it's a hard answer. What do you think yourself? I also like to hear your opinion here and there, man, of course.
Yes, because all of a sudden you look at his records, like, okay, I'll be outside of the Gaethje win, which he was overweight.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Tony Ferguson is no longer of UFC. Michael Chandler probably is on his way out. Dustin Poirier is retired. And those were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, all this, the most recent win was against Beneil Dariush, and even Dariush is now starting to show age because these guys have fought for a long time. So, yeah, if Oliveira loses, I don't know. Well, who else do you match him up with that can get him back in the title picture? Because he doesn't seem to, be able to beat guys like Makhachev, Topuria.
I think he's already not going to fight for a title anymore. That's what I think. But if he wins against Gamrot, he's probably back in the title mix. But yeah, I don't see him reaching a title anytime soon anymore, man. I think he is still a great fighter and beats a lot of guys. But the top guys right now in the division, I think that those guys are too good for him right now. That's my honest opinion.
So this card here I'm looking at, and it's a fun little card, but there's some pros and cons. Pros, you've got a very good main event card, which is Olivera, Mateus Gamrot. You got Montel Jackson versus Davison Figueiredo, Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez, Mario Pinto versus Yonta Diniz, and Lucas Almeida, Michael Answell, and then Ricardo Ramos Khan Ofli.
Yeah.
Pretty good overall for a fight night. Bad news, well, for you, we got 3 heavyweights, which I know you're looking going, oh my God, 3 matches of Chubba Chubs. God damn my gas out. Oh, God damn it. UFC, you need to fire the heavyweights. Fire the heavyweights. Just get more bantamweights and flyweights, and Marcel will be happy. And then there's a lot of fights where it's guys who either people who you might go, well, they're a little bit long in the tooth. This should be it for them, like Karolina Kowalczyk, or people like Stuart Nickel, where you're not sure why they're on this card. So give me your thoughts on the undercard, the full card, and what fights intrigue you, and what fights you're looking at going, why did this fight get put on, and why did it get made?
Well, let's go to the whole card, okay? We talk about the main event, co-main event. Davison Figueiredo, Montel Jackson. I like the fight. Davison had a great run at bantamweight before. He was a flyweight champion, obviously. Had a great run, but he lost his last 2. Montel is on a good win streak. He gets a chance to fight somebody in the top 10, so that's cool. I like the fight a lot. We got Vicente Luque, Joel Alvarez. Luque was supposed to fight Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio pulled out. Alvarez is in now, making his how do you say that, return, are going now to welterweight. I think it's a much more tougher fight for Vicente Luque, probably, but a really interesting one of the best fights on the card. We got Jonathan Diniz against Mario Pinto. We know how Diniz wants to fight. He wants to stand and bang. Mario Pinto pretty much as well. But Mario Pinto, I like him a lot. He fought in the Netherlands a couple of times for LFL. I think he's a really good fighter, but We will see when he fights a better competition in the UFC. You know, if he still does very well. Ricardo Ramos, Khan Afli. Afli, I haven't been really impressed by, to be really honest. And Ricardo Ramos, kind of underwhelming in a lot of his fights as of lately. But this is a fight he should be able to win. We got Lucas Almeida, Michael Aswell opening the main card. Fun fight. I really like Aswell. I think he fought good in the Contender Series. I think he got screwed and lost a decision. Then he got a short notice fight against Bulaji Oki, a weight class up. He looked pretty decent, but he lost. Lucas Almeida is hit or miss all the time. Sometimes he looks really good, and then I'm like, what the hell am I watching? So it's an interesting fight. That can be a fight of the night kind of fight, you know. Jaffel Filio, Clayton Carpenter is interesting. Filio is pretty good on the ground. We know that. Carpenter pretty all round. Didn't look good in his last fight, but it was a tough match against Lomachenko. So interesting one. We got Vitor Petrino, Thomas Peterson. Petrino, yeah, I mean, now at heavyweight, we'll see what he can do against Peterson. Not the best fight probably, but can be entertaining. Can be a knockout if Petrino goes hard on Peterson. We got Bia Mesquita making her debut against Irina Alexeva. Bia, BJJ, all around really good. You know, Alexeva really underwhelming in the last couple of fights. Mesquita should rule in this fight. Lucas Rocha against Stuart Nickel. Nickel had a bad debut, got his undefeated record taken by Jesus Aguilar. Roca looked decent so far. You know, I think Roca should be able to win here. Then we got surprisingly low on the card, Walter Walker against Muhammad Usman. Walker got like 3 quick submissions by heel hook. 3 different ones, by the way. Fighting Muhammad Usman, I'm not really like high on Muhammad Usman. I think Walker, I wouldn't be surprised if Walker got a 4th heel hook, to be honest. Would be fun if that happens. Wouldn't be surprised. We got Polastri against Kowalkiewicz. Kowalkiewicz, former title challenger, not any more close to any top 15 or title. Polastri, she looks decent in her fights, you know, but she wakes up a little bit late sometimes, you know. And against Godina, she woke up a little bit late. But she can do work against Kowalkiewicz, who I think is past her prime, so that's interesting. And then we got the opener of the card between 2 guys who are still searching for the first UFC win. Simon Olivera's 0-3, Luan Lacerda's 0-2. Interesting fight, 2 Brazilians opening the card. I think Lacerda is the better fighter of the 2, but I mean, we'll see. It's a fun fight. Loser can stay in Brazil probably, I think, you know.
So I got to ask: is Walter Walker becoming your favorite heavyweight? Because you love grappling, and you're looking at this guy. Go, he gets heel hooks. He actually can, do submission wrestling. Ooh, he's in shape. He's not a chubba brawler who's going to throw big hands and then gas. Is it safe to say that Walter Walker is getting the Marcel Dorff seal of approval?
I mean, he's fun to watch, you know. You know what he's gonna do, and if he does it, it looks great, you know. The thing is, like, and I think this is why the UFC is so hesitant with him, is that he lost his debut against Lucas Dresky, who is like 1-6 in the UFC. You know, that's why the UFC is so hesitant with him, I think, you know, because I think he can do work against a lot of heavyweights, to be honest. Listen, he got something special that a lot of heavyweights don't have. So I'm interested to watch him. Muhammad Usman, yeah, I don't see anything great in the dude, but hey, good for him that he has had some wins in the UFC. I don't think he will do very well against a lot of guys in the division. I think Walker should be able to get another submission here, man. And yeah, it's entertaining. You know, if a heavyweight finishes, it's entertaining. But the thing is, like, there are too many low-level heavyweights who are just like fat and don't do anything well. You know, they're just like fat like me and don't have any technique, just power, and power for 3 minutes. But I mean, Walker looked pretty good, and he looked pretty trained. You know, he doesn't look like a fat heavyweight or anything. You know, so yeah, let's hope he does well, and maybe get somebody in top 15 next. Would be great.
So overall, is this a card worth watching? Is this a card worth you just go on the highlights on YouTube? Is this a card you go, I'll stay up, but maybe I'll take a nap, and then I'll stay up for the main event? Like, give me your honest assessment of this fight card.
It's an overall pretty decent fight card, man. The thing is, like, this fight card is targeted to the Brazilian audience, and every fucking fighter is a Brazilian. So I mean, that's how they target this fight card. So it's a fun one. I think it's an okay fight card. It's not too late. Yeah, I like the card. There's nothing wrong with this card. I think it's a decent fight night card. It's better than the average Apex card. It's not as good as a pay-per-view card. It's just like fight night card material. So I like it. Yeah, good card.
And last but not least,
yeah.
So earlier we talked about Alex Pereira winning the championship. He's calling out, John Jones for White House. You have Yuri calling him out. I gotta ask, when do we get the trilogy? Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira, because that's gonna sell tickets. I know Israel's lost a couple fights. I understand he's more on the back nine than the front nine, but as I keep hearing from the Dana White people, fun fights sell tickets. They get ratings. So I gotta ask, if you are the UFC, when do you pull the trigger to make Israel Pereira 3? They both have the win against each other. In fact, Israel won the last fight against Pereira. When do you just go to Israel? Hey, we're giving you a light heavyweight championship match against Alex Pereira. We're doing the trilogy.
Never.
Why? It's money on the table, Marcel.
It's not the time.
It's money. You don't throw away money.
They throw away money so many times, man. I mean, they could have made Anderson Silva GSP. Did they do it? No, they didn't. For years. So I'm not interested in that fight right now. There are other fights that are much more interesting for both guys to fight. Definitely for Pereira. You got clear contenders in the division, man. We don't need Adesanya to fight Pereira right now. He had his chance. They had their chances. That is past now. That's past now. Maybe listen. I know probably also not in the future because both guys are getting old, but I don't really need to see it again, man, to be really honest. That doesn't have the same hype it had before, Definitely not since Adesanya is losing his last couple of fights.
It's like, I don't know you anymore. Fun fights, Marcel. I mean, think of it, the trash talking, the drama, the fact they don't like each other, the fact that there will be a knockout. I mean, this just sells itself. It's almost like, I am on Mars, you are on Venus, as they say, and you're going, no, we're not doing fun fights. We need to have just grappling only.
I more see you on Venus and I'm on Mars, but
well, on that note, we got to end this show. Once again, always a pleasure having on. I give you from the Eurosport, UFC, from Tapology, from the MMA Oddsbreaker podcast. I give you Marcel Dorff. So, Marcel, once again, where else can fans check you out at? Where is the work, the podcast? What's going on with your own interviews with some Dutch MMA fighters? Where can fans hit you up at?
Marcel24, Twitter, Instagram, MMA OB Daily Podcast with Adam Martin. Previews and recap from UFC cards. Normally we do it on Sunday. This week it will be on Monday. Yeah, that's basically it. Mixed martial arts segment website for Eurosport for my articles. And yeah, thanks for having me again, man. Always a pleasure.
Marcel Dorff, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always on a pleasure to have you on the show. We come back. A lot more going on here, only on it's Last Call. Last Call, the alcohol, only on the lastcallpodcast.com.